I come from Nigeria, so I can only speak really more about Nigeria. People from there, because of stigma, they don't want to get on medication. They don't want to get treatment for it because they think it's a stigma. But this is my question to them. When you have blood pressure, don't you go to the doctors? When you have diabetes, don't you go to the doctors? Why not do the same for mental health? We need to get rid of that term mad. If I have a mood swing, I have mood disturbance, my mood is not stable, or I'm delusional, people are going to look and say, oh, you don't colo.
My name is DIJAYFRED, and welcome to DIJAYFRED's podcast. Today's episode is particularly dear to our heart as we dive into the importance and often overlooked subject of mental health. Each of us has our own journey, and we believe it is time to open up the conversation and break the stigma surrounding the issue of mental health well-being. Have you ever asked yourself, in a world of constant progress and innovation, mental health issues still persist? Like depression, anxiety, and a host of other mood disorders. Today, my guest is someone that is very passionate about these topics, someone that I know who is very resilient, who is self-driven, a go-getter, a wife, and a mother. My guest today is Madeline Edo, psychiatrist, mental health nurse practitioner, and a family nurse practitioner board certified. She's the founder of Calvary Family and Mental Health Services. Madeline, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, DIJAYFRED.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Thank you for coming. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Great. I know you're a very busy woman, and in spite of your busy schedule, you find time to come on this podcast, to talk to us about the importance of taking care of our mental health. Please, before we go further, I would like you to tell us about yourself.
Myself, I have a very long story to tell. I was born in Nigeria, West Africa. I immigrated to the United States 22 years ago. Like you rightly said, I am a mother, a wife, and I work full-time. And I'm an alumni of Hondros College of Nursing, Indiana Wesleyan University, The Ohio State University, and Wicks University. I've lived in Columbus for 2 decades now, and I'm loving it.
Damn. Over 20-something years you've been in Columbus.
Time adds up very quickly,
I know. Say, times move very fast when you're having fun. Can you please tell us your journey into the healthcare system in this country?
My journey into the healthcare system is very interesting. Back home in Nigeria, I wanted to be a banker. So I went to Lagos State Polytechnic. I studied banking and finance. Then I proceeded to the Lagos State University. I did marketing. But when I come here to the United States, I saw something different. So I had a complicated pregnancy with my twins. When they were born, the prognosis was so bad that the medical providers have to make a mold of their fingers and hands and legs to give me to keep, just in case they don't make it, in case they die. But as time goes on, a few days become 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and nothing happened. So I started to ask myself, what did those medical providers do to help my twins like this? They changed my life. They changed my story. They put a smile on my face. And I knew at that point, I want to do the same. So I went to school so I can become an LPN. Then from there, I'm sitting here across to you with my white coat with 2 master's degrees.
Wow. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. That means you have a personal story.
I have a personal story. I want to expatiate on that very quickly.
Yeah, go.
There is a family I want to give a shout out to. That's the family of McDonald's Akitwame and his beautiful wife, Lisa Akitwame. They opened their doors for us to come in. If they had not come through for us, this story will not be possible. So I'm forever grateful. Yeah.
Nice, nice. You can see that's why it's good to be nice. It's good to be good. You've already told us your journey, the reason why you went into the healthcare. But I know your journey in the healthcare system hasn't been that smooth. You know, today, to call long story short, today you are a health, psychiatric, mental health nurse practitioner slash family nurse practitioner. But yeah, family is very important. But the issue of mental health, we all know how that has been devastating our families. Based on your practice, what are the causes of mental health challenges? What have you seen, the prevailing ones?
Okay. So we cannot talk about mental health challenges without talking about the causes. You know, people with mental health challenges often blame themselves for it. They think, oh, why me? With the stigma and everything surrounding it. That is actually not the case. There are many causes of mental health challenges. It could just be that, the brain, the brain chemicals, they are not balanced. We have the neurotransmitters that fires around with different receptors. If they are not balanced, that can affect your mood. And when your mood is affected, it could result to depression, anxiety, personality disorder, and a host of others. Besides that, it could just be simply be caused by, when you are being conceived and the mother is involved in drugs or alcohol. That could be an issue when someone is born. They could result to mental health challenges. Same is environmental toxins. So, having said that, there are many triggers out there, the society, especially from where we come from. We have this jackpot syndrome.
Yeah.
I have to go abroad. I have to go. That's where, the solution is. And then they come here. They are not lucky like us that have a family that welcomes us in. They are on their own. They are on their own in the street. That could be a trigger for mental health illnesses. Then competition. I want to be like the other person. Even though you don't have the calling for it, then you go in, spend a lot of money, try to be another person who you're not. At the end of the day, that can cause a mental breakdown. Even, transitioning, adjustment disorder. You transition to a new life, a new thing, and it can cause it. Loss of a loved one, loss of a job, tragedies, traumas, different things happening, loss of jobs. All of that combined, there are triggers of things that can cause mental health illnesses. And I think the more we talk about it, the easier it will become.
Okay. It's a good thing you hinted on a lot of things, like things that you should abstain from when you're pregnant. That is a big thing. That's a big issue. Some people don't really pay attention to that. Some those little things they do, most especially when it comes to there are some chemicals you need to stay away from. Number one thing, alcohol, cigarette smoking,
drugs,
exposing yourself to toxins, a certain environment you shouldn't be in,
right?
inhaling toxins without being aware of it.
Exactly.
Still in some, let's be real with ourselves. We're from Africa,
Correct.
right? Most especially the African men. Some of us are very stubborn. So even when you know that things are not right, the society we live in today, there are so many things that are fighting us.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And even if you're being advised, people around you notice it and say, okay, I think you should go talk to someone. We don't like the idea of going to meet another person to share our inner thoughts or talk about our demons, what we're fighting. Some of the things we're fighting in our head, those voices we hear. How can we move away from that? Because of the stigmatization in talking about mental health. How can we move away?
So if I get you right, if I get you correctly, you asking about how we can stay away from things that can result to this illness, right?
Yes.
Okay. I will start by telling you this. I work, I have a great experience in addiction world. I work with people who have addiction. And I've heard a lot of stories from these people. Sometimes it is not caused by stubbornness. Sometimes it's just peer pressure. Okay, peer pressure. My friend gave this to me. I didn't want to look different, so I have to give it a try. Before you know, I get hooked to it. And sometimes you see parents actually introducing their children into some of these dangerous drugs. I've heard story of my dad gave it to me, my auntie gave it to me. When I tried it, I felt better. Then I got hooked to it. So all of those things, I think they are preventable. But what I would say to start with is a family. A family have to be together. A family have to appreciate each other. A family have to teach. In the country where we come from, it takes a community to raise a child.
Absolutely.
Everybody come together for the betterment of that youth or that little girl who is out there. So we have to teach them before it gets too late. Parents have to pay attention of who, their children associate with. Then you talk about us Africans, some of our men being not listening very much. They want to have their own way. They want to do their own way. But I think we have a long way to go
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. Even at times we do things at our own detriment just because of we don't want to yield, in the sense that because of our ego. Like, I don't think counseling, become men, and a lot of them are open to counseling when it comes to, okay, go talk to someone. What is the experience with that?
I'll tell you, counseling is very good. I am an advocate for counseling because I believe what is shared, what you discuss, a problem shared
It's
is
absurd.
solved. Remember, those counseling, they don't know you very much. They are not just enjoying listening to your story. They are trained. They are trying to give directions on how things should go. They use evidence-based practice. It works. So it doesn't matter where you come from, whether you're a man or a woman. If you need counseling, I would say go for it. I've had people come to me, some of the patients come to me, my relationship with my counselor is very important. Through my counselor, I've been able to overcome what I was going through, overcome the challenges. Now I have my children back that I lost to children's services, and everything is working together for me. Yeah. That also comes to mental health too. Mental health, you have medication management and you have counseling. So all of this work together to produce a better outcome. Some people want to focus on medication or just the counseling. I would say that we have to do both to get, the best outcome.
It's when you were talking earlier, you mentioned this, jackpot. There's something they call jackpot syndrome now. Everybody want to, run away, relocating. But I've seen a lot of people on social media, crying out like, "Oh my God, this is not what I thought. This was not my initial expectation. These things are different here." The culture shock. Some people express the loneliness. Or more, this place, if you dey come here, you never marry, try marry, or go bring somebody from Nigeria, all kinds of things. In Africa, like you said, it takes a village to raise a child. The system of communal living, the community. But here, it's not really like that. This place is not set up like that. So people like that, even though when they're having mental health issues, they don't really realize it. What are the signs they should look out for? Things they should look out for.
So this is what I would say about that. I am a beneficiary of America being the land of opportunity, the land of the free.
Yeah.
And I think someone in Canada or someone in Europe, we also have the same thing to say because it's way different from our home country where we were born. So I am not against looking for a greener pasture or, traveling abroad. But this is what I would say. If you don't have a tie, if you don't have someone who's going to help you to settle in, please do not get on the plane and fly. It's not as rosy as it sounds. It's not as easy as people think. When you come, a place you don't have any tie, you don't know anybody, and then you just think, if I go there, I will figure it out. It takes a miracle, to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that is why, again, we come to mental health. You found yourself in the street. You found yourself in the middle of nowhere. You have no money to spend. You have nowhere to stay. You just get on the plane because you want to jackpot and leave Nigeria. Things like that can result to mental health. I see some things on the Facebook. I've seen some things on the YouTube or TV where you have some of our people who are up here in the diaspora. They live in the street. Some of them
Many.
die from
Many.
cold bite, from ice bite, from harsh weather. They'll be asking, who know this person? The person,
People sleeping under the bridge.
people sleeping under the bridge. And it's even good if they're able to continue with their day-to-day activities. Not everybody is lucky. Some of them are dying. So I'm going to say, it's not the best if you don't have a tie or who's going to help you settle down.
It's a real issue. It's a real issue.
Yes.
Of course, you are in this practice. I've had the luxury of being in a long care facility, seeing, without going in details, I've seen a lot of people on antidepressant medications and anti-anxiety medication. You go to a facility, you see like 90% of the residents, they are on these medications. That tells you that the system, people are really, really, really going through a lot. It's not just because, even it is worse in some of these Western nations compared to Africa, Africa countries where people don't really, the goals are not met, expectations are not met, people are going through disappointment every day. And again, people still dupe people. People will also do whatever it takes, gather money, give it to someone in the name of, they promise the heaven and earth.
Right.
Things like that affect your psyche.
It does.
Affect your psyche.
It does. Very much.
Yes.
Very, very much.
Here, the things that trigger mental health issues are way, way different from what triggers mental health issues in Africa.
Totally true. I agree. I agree with that. But this is what I'll tell you. Mental health issue is not really more common here in the United States. It's everywhere. It's just that they are the people who decide to be on medication to help themselves. Like other places, especially I come from Nigeria, so I can only speak really more about Nigeria. People from there, because of stigma, they don't want to get on medication. They don't want to get treatment for it because they think it's a stigma. But this is my question to them. When you have blood pressure, don't you go to the doctors? When you have diabetes, don't you go to the doctors? Why not do the same for mental health? Get a medication, get what you need, and then feel better.
Okay, go.
Okay, now, again, it still comes to people wanting to travel, right? People wanting to travel, they want to leave Nigeria because of what is going on. I feel it, I can relate, because it's place where I don't want to speak bad of my country. I don't want to speak bad of what is going on there. But how do you explain a person who sell their landed property, sell their properties and give it to someone with the hopes of getting them to travel out of the country, and they end up losing it all? Of course, they are going to go into depression.
Yeah. This the stigma when it comes to mental health, when it comes to seeking help, when it comes to people, I think is a wrong notion, is a wrong belief about, because back in the day, we used to see mental. If somebody say, if somebody express anything like that, we say, oh, this person is not the wrong man. Right?
Yes, this person done the wrong man.
Yes, I think that's in our context, that is the big stigmatization when it comes to, so that kind of, even people, when you're hallucinating, you're hearing voices, you're all kinds of things. You don't want to share. You don't want to consult another person or a professional. You don't want to share because you're thinking, these people will tell us they are not demand. Is it Is it what is the I know it's may probably be like a thin line. What is the difference?
Okay, I'll tell you what. Maybe in the first place, we need to get rid of that term mad. Okay? Because when you say the person don't mad, come on now. We should not be using a term like that. We should
It's
call
too
it
hard.
mental health. And well, that is what we call it, though. You know,
That's what I'm saying.
That's what we call it back home. We call
Yes.
it mad. Not everybody is mad.
Okay.
You know, if I have a mood swing, I have mood disturbance. My mood is not stable, or I'm delusional. Delusional in the sense that I'm reasoning differently, or I'm thinking irrationally. People are gonna look and say, "Oh, you don't colo."
Exactly.
I say you don't mad. Then the next person will say, "Oh, now the ancestor caused him. The ancestor must have done something."
Exactly.
Oh, it's the bad thing the father did when the father was alive that is going after them. That family. We have to stop all of that.
Superstitious belief.
That is not helping anybody.
Okay.
That is not what mental health is all about. It is way different. So if we change from calling it mad to mental health, we see it as an illness. We will see it as an illness as, respiratory issue, blood pressure. We are not shy to talk about that. We are not shy to say, I can't breathe very well.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your mood is being disturbed, your thought is being disturbed, instead of seeking help or helping you to get help, we disassociate from it. We don't want to identify with them. So they will not say, that family, there is a mad person there. So we should please not use mad. We should call it mental health challenges and call it what it is.
So for the records, you are saying as a specialist in this area, you're saying it's just like you having headache. It's just an illness, just like headache, just like stomach ache, just like back ache, things that you're not ashamed to talk about when you have challenges in any part of your body or in your system.
I will relate it more with a chronic illness.
Okay.
Headache come and go, all of that.
Yeah.
I will, like I said earlier, I have hypertension, for example. It's a chronic illness. From time to time, I go to my doctor and they give me medication. Same with diabetes, right? I'm managing it. I'm living. I'm fine. I'm not ashamed to talk about it. It's the same thing with mental health illness. I can't think straight. I can't sleep well. I don't eat like I used to. Something is not right. People should see those red flags and take care of it right away. Go to the doctor, let them know. They know the medication to give you to manage those symptoms so you can function like anybody else. I have not heard in my practice of how many years now, like 12 years altogether. I've not seen here in the United States, I've not seen where a person with mental health challenges is being referred to as a madman or a mad woman or a mad child. Sometimes we call it mental health crisis. When it's really serious, there is treatment for it. It can be taken care of. And we should not be shy to talk about it.
I think it's it's just out of ignorance on our part. Some of us who still see it, we still see it as we all call it madness. But that is reason. Thank God you're here. You're sharing light on it. This is don't see it as madness. It's just an illness. It's like something that is chronic, just like something that is debilitating if it's not taken care of, just like every other thing. Anything you're allowed to deteriorate,
we go bad.
we go bad.
Exactly. Speaking of go bad, people who have depression, we know what the symptoms is, right? I mean, well, maybe we don't know. People with depression, they will have lots of interest in doing things they used to enjoy. They will not want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
They will feel hopelessness. They will feel uselessness. They will have sense of guilt. They will not sleep very well. It's either they undereat or they overeat. And then they have suicidal thoughts. So a person who is going through all of this, of course they are going to be down. Of course they are going to have suicidal thoughts. Even besides that, have a homicidal thoughts. We know what that is. So that is why we are saying, if you start to have signs like that, please say something. Give me a call.
Okay.
I'm happy. I'm ready to listen to you and share with you. People who have anxiety, how do you know you have anxiety? You become restless. You are not able to concentrate. You're restless. You worry too much about everything. You think something bad is going to happen. A doom is going to happen. When you start to feel it that way, you are having anxiety and you want to do something about it. Same as PTSD, where you relive the past. You have a trauma in the past, especially people who were in the military, who have a history of rape, or who have trauma or adverse childhood. They relive that past and they have a PTSD. So if you have any symptoms like that, it's a sign of mental health illness. Do something. There's
Okay.
help out there.
And just to add, there is no shame in it. Like you said, it's just illness, just like every other illness. So that way of looking at it, that we're thinking that, oh, this person does the wrong. No, somebody's having a mental health breakdown does not. And again, in today's society, we have so many things that if you're not careful, that will drive you to have mental, like, is it like the societal pressure, social media platforms, the influx of information that's being thrown at you from different channels, different platforms. You're being bamboozled, overloaded. Is it like even in the workplace? In the workplace now, you have in the states here or in some companies where they would take the role of three people, three positions, cramp into one, and give it to one person.
Okay, I'll tell
There
you
is no
this.
work-life balance.
See, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
You're not a superhero. If you are being thrown into different directions, instead of you to have a mental health breakdown, take a deep breath. Ask for help. Ask for help. Talk to your employer. If you don't get that help, it's not a do or die. Instead of it to affect your life and your functioning, you can pull back. And I will tell you, when it comes to bullying, people looking down on you, or things like that, don't take it to heart. I'll tell you what, DIJFRED. My story, my here sitting here talking to you with, everything I've been through, bullying was part of the push that get me to where I am. I've never said this to you, and I've not said it to many people before. I'll say it real quickly. I'm sorry if I'm taking
No,
too much.
go on. Bullying at where?
Okay, so this is the deal. I tell you the story about my kids, what they went through, and how I want to become a medical practitioner provider to be able to help.
Yeah.
My goal was to go to LPN, do LPN, licensed practical nursing, and stop
And
there
just
and be
relax
able
there.
to help people.
Yeah.
But guess what? I got bullied. I was working with RN, group of RNs, right? They
RN
will
means
remind
registered nurses.
nurse. They will remind me every single day that I'm not a registered nurse. I'm just an LPN. They gave me a nickname. They will call me the pill lady. Oh, you can't touch that pump. You can't touch that equipment. You can't touch this. You just an LPN. You just to pass the pill and do wound care. Don't touch anything like that. They remind me every single day. The bullying was so much. It got to a time I almost cried. I went to the bathroom and I wanted to cry. And something came to me. Don't do it. Don't cry. What does it take to become that RN? You can be that RN, right? I said, yeah, that is true. Again, from bullying, I became an RN. It was not easy, but it happened.
Yeah.
When I became an RN, now I'm in a nursing home. Now, so what? I'm not an RN. I'm able to do what RNs are doing, so nobody can tell me anything. Well, I'm going to tell you, another bully came.
Okay.
She had a BSN, and she worked in the hospital. She will rub it on my face every day. She work in the hospital because she has a bachelor's degree. Hospital now accept nurses who have bachelor's because they are magnet status, and she's one of them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to the hospital, and I said, okay, again, what does it take to become a bachelor's degree, right? I got my bachelor's. Now I got myself in a magnet status hospital, and I'm working there every day. I'm like, I have arrived. This is the end of it, The what now? Then I see these beautiful nurse practitioners with their white coats, right? So they don't have to worry
It's
about...
never ending.
Exactly. So they don't have to worry about the measurement of what is in the urinal or what is the toilet hard, what is the measurement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
They don't have to worry about that. They just come with their white coat, walking in the, hall like that, asking for, giving directions. I'm like, I don't want to be like that. Then I went ahead. I get my master's degree and I do take my board certification. I became a nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
So again, I got a job, and my job was more aligned with people with mental health illnesses and addiction. And I said, I'm going to know more about this mental health illnesses and, to be able to help more people. I went back to school. I got my second master's degree. Now I'm talking about having my own telehealth, mental health practice. All of this started because I did not let bullying take over me.
Yeah.
I did not let people limiting me take over me. When I gave up the job in banking, I didn't tell you that. When I came back from Nigeria, I got in the bank because that's my background. So it was from the bank, I went into nursing. Friends at the bank said she's going to come back. She's not going to make it. With that accent, how is she going to do presentation in the class? How is she? So it's been demeaning, bullying, limitations, telling me I cannot do it. That has been my push. This is me sitting across from you, wearing a white coat, despite all of that.
Yep.
So I'm saying if someone is bullying you, they don't have business. They don't have anything to do. Try and be on top so that you can you can be on top of them. They will be calling you for help. Hopefully, that can actually stop them from the bullying, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying everybody is going to have it like I did, but have your own coping mechanism, your own coping skills, not to let people's attitude deter you.
What a story. Everything you just said, I've been fortunate to witness everything from a first row seat.
Awesome.
Right?
Good.
Speaking of that, when I came to United States, I stayed in your house. You and your husband housed me, fed me, bought clothes for me, everything. When I met my wife, I can't even talk about the roles you guys played. You know,
God, yeah.
If those who don't know, this were the people. She and her husband, her family, they opened up their doors for me, and they gave me a good start in this country. You know, we are one, we're family. I say that every day. So let's moving on.
DIJAYFRED, you were a blessing to us.
Moving on. So let's talk about the business.
Okay.
Calvary, family
and
and mental health service. What kind of? I know we're talking about, because that's the two parts.
Yeah.
We're really talking about laying emphasis on the mental health part of it. You're also a family nurse practitioner.
Correct.
But in your practice now, in your private practice, you do this online.
Yes.
You do this online.
Correct.
Okay. How can people assess you? What kind of patients do you accept?
Okay, this is the goal. So my goal is to start at the telehealth practice. And, well, my goal is to start telehealth practice and then expand into having an office of my own. I want to build a caseload first, because of, the cost of things and things like that.
Yeah.
So right now, the kind of patient that I see, people with depression, anxiety, bipolar, PTSD, personality disorder, and many other ones, eating disorder, sleeping disorder, and many more. So that's the patient that I see now. And we started seeing patients already. We started the program and it's going well.
Okay. Do you have a website where people can reach you?
Yes.
Or schedule an appointment? Can they schedule via your website, or they have to call?
Both. So I have a website. My website is calvary-llc.com.
Okay.
Calvary, CALVARY-LLC.com.
I'm going to put it on the screen.
There is a booking links. When you click on that booking links, you're going to see our availability. I'm not available every day of the week because I work, my other job. But there are days I set aside where I do this telepractice. The goal is to do primary, but for right now, we are focusing on mental health. Because, with primary, there are many other assessments that involves one-on-one assessment, that you actually have to use the stethoscope. We can't do that via tele. So our virtual is very good and it's safe and secure.
Okay. Since it's online based, it's virtual based, can people outside of the United States book for your services?
Very good question. Unfortunately, no, because I am licensed to practice in the state of Ohio. I'm going to work on multi-state license so I can work in other states around here. But for right now, I can only see patients in the state of Ohio.
Okay. Okay. What kind of insurance or insurance do you accept then?
Okay, so we accept Medicaid, Aetna, Humana, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, Cigna, and many more. If you go to our website at cavalry-llc.com, you're going to see all the insurances that we accept.
Okay. So what is your I know we've talked a lot about the stigmatization in talking about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your advice in people who want to seek help with mental health?
This is my advice.
Yeah.
Please do not hold back. There is help out there. There is help out there. Whether you want it virtually or you want it face to face, there is help out there. Don't let anything deter you. If you want to talk, give us a call. Give us a call. At our business phone number is 614-321-4161. Give us a call. We can talk. It's confidential. We are not allowed to share your information without your permission. Give us a call. Let's talk. My goal is to change that narrative. My goal, thank God the government is very supportive of this, to remove that stigma in mental health illnesses. Give us a call. There is help out there who will help you. I want you to see it like I see it. I want you to see it like your friend who has high blood pressure. See it like your grandpa who has diabetes, who is still living and taking medication and able to function. So there's help for you out there.
Okay. So what about the people that are kind of skeptical when it comes to their privacy in telehealth setting?
That's a very good question. I actually like that. So our virtual office, when we do telehealth, is under HIPAA secured. It is encrypted. So we have electronic health records as well, and it's very secure. Your information is secure. It's privacy. It's between you and the medical provider. In this case, it's going to be between me and you. No one else is listening. No one else knows what we talk about, and your information is well secured. As mental health practitioners, even with all medical providers, they take an oath not to share your information with anyone without a prior authorization or permission from you. So your information is very secure. We care. I care. I do this with passion. I'll tell you, if you give us a try, you will not regret it.
Nice. I'm going to ask this question, even though you're a parent. Of course, I'm a parent, right? We have the way Africans, the way we say African dad, African mom.
Mm-hmm.
These days, people have terms, most especially here in the United States. They have terms for everything. They have a way of categorizing everything.
Yeah.
The way we talk to our children. Some people, you hear some kids who say, this is affecting me mentally. This is affecting my mental health right now. Just because.
Some will tell you. This is pressure. You're putting too much pressure on me. Yes. I can't even think straight. What do yeah.
So now let's dive into a little bit into the family part.
Okay.
Yeah. When, as a parent, when you find yourself in a situation like that, your kids, like, what you went through as a son or a daughter growing up in Africa. Right. Here now your children want to twist your hand, lock the door, and keep the key in their back pocket. They don't want you to,
Yeah.
So when you know how it is here, the system here. If you fail to raise your kids, the system will help you to raise your children.
Yes, it's true.
So when you find yourself in that situation as a parent, how do you?
Now you're putting me on the spot. Okay. It is tough. Okay. As a parent, I was raised in Africa.
Yeah.
And there, I did not have too much choices on the chore I want to do, on the ones I do not want to do. It was basically like, they call your name, you get up, you take care of the business. Not just your parents, anyone in the community. older than you need to be respected, and they can send you on errands. You cannot say no. If you say no, your own parents are the one that will teach you a lesson for
Absolutely.
saying no. That
Yeah.
next time you cannot say no. Now, I live that. I grew up in an environment like that, and now I'm here. I'm here where children have rights.
Mm.
Children have rights, and that rights should be respected. I've heard people saying, I turned out good because my parents raised me the way they did. That is back home in Africa. I am who I am today because, I did not question my parents when they say something. Well, here we are. Children have rights. We have to try and balance it. When I talk to my children, I don't tell them, you have to do things now because I said so. Because I think this is what you should do, because I'm your mother, I said you should do it. It has to be done that way. No.
Doesn't mean you
What
don't
I
have the
do-
right to say like that if you want to.
Well, why would you say it like that? Why would you say you have to do it because I said so? First of all, that's ego. You're putting in ego. You're putting in authoritarian kind of. Yes, she's your child.
What if that is the only way you know based on how you were brought up?
Where you have to educate yourself on parenting, because this is not Africa. Okay. Here in America, they have their own style of parenting. You want to talk to people, again, that's where we talk about. I tell you what, in this job I am doing, I have seen patients come to me and say, my 16-year-old doesn't listen to me. These are not African family. These are here,
Yeah.
here. And he's telling me,
It's even
my
worse
son
in
don't
their
listen to
cycle.
me. He's
Yeah.
only 16 years old. He opened the window up in the night, joined his friends, and they went out to party. I came out with my, weapon. I thought it was an intruder. It could have been worse, And I said, what do you do? What do you want to do? He said, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to leave him. It's his own life. It's his own term. And I said, no, let's do it differently. How about you negotiate with your child? How about you have your child sit down on the table? You say, okay, this thing you're doing, dad is not happy about it. This is how dad would love you to do it. What are the barriers? Why are you not doing it this way? Why that way? When you listen to them, you're going to see where they're coming from.
Okay.
Sometimes it's from peer pressure. Again, come back to peer pressure. There are friends telling you, nobody tell me what to do. I'm 18 now, I'm 16 now. They're trying to bring that home. So you have to let them know that, hey, this is what life is about. Spend time with them. Make yourself available. Make yourself, be a dad that listen, be a mom that listen. Listen to them and tell them, this is what I think, this is how I think we should do it. Do you have any question? Is there a reason why you want to do it differently? Let's talk about it. So I think if you make yourself available and they know they can relate with mom, they can relate with dad, things will run smoothly.
All right. Well said. But I'm going to ask you another question.
Okay.
Yes. And it still has to do with parenting, with African style of parenting. The world has changed and the world is still evolving.
Correct.
Right? African parents want to live through their children vicariously, meaning that they have set of professions that their children must follow. They will decide that this is where I want you guys to do. They already narrow it down to like 4 or 5 professions that this is where I want you guys to go. You cannot depart from this. Even when, now that we're saying that children have rights in this country, when the child decides that I think I'm mom, I think I'm leaning, I have, and you've seen that this person really has, good vibes for this thing. And they're exhibiting it. But you're telling them, no, you should be looking at this direction. As a family nurse practitioner, if I come to you with such a case, what would be your advice to me? And what is your own personal? I know why I'm asking you this question.
And I know why you are asking this question, because you have been talking to your younger ones, my kids. Okay, let's talk about it in the open.
Okay.
So I used to struggle, right, about what I want them to do. First, I want them to take after me, be a nurse practitioner, be a psychiatric nurse practitioner. I actually talked Tracy, one of the twin, into it with the pressure a little. She said, yes, I'll do it. Then we went to school. We changed our major. She was going to do nursing. Well, she came back 3 weeks later and she said, Mom, I think that's what you want me to do,
Okay.
not what I want to do.
Okay.
Can I kind of do something that I want to do? And I said, oh, you have to look at the future, something that will give you income. Don't you see, we're able to do this and that because the pay is good, this and that. And she said, Mom, it sounds like that's what you want. And then I'm like, okay, so what do you want? So what I'm trying to say, that negotiation has to be there. She said, I like computer. I want to be a computer engineer. And I said, okay, reluctantly, we went back and changed her major into, computer engineering, which is what she's doing right now.
Okay.
So we African parents, I've seen in a joke where they said an African parent wants you to be a doctor,
Yeah.
a lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
an accountant, and or nothing.
Yeah.
But that's not the case with me. I'm talking now as a mom, right?
Okay.
That's
Okay.
not the case with me. So I have involved myself and I have evolved and I have learned to listen to them because at the end of the day, this is their life. This is their future.
Yeah.
If this is what is going to give them joy, yes, let them have at it, you know? And again, if you come to me as, on a professional level, and you're consulting me on how you can, discuss these issues with your family, I will say, listen to them. Again, come to the negotiating table. Did they know the reasons why you want them to do, to be an accountant or why you want them to be a pilot? Put it on the table. Let them decide. This is the prospect, the pros and the cons why I'm choosing this part. If they don't agree, let them do what they agree with, what will make them happy.
Great. Great.
And just to say that, actually, I've had a patient who came to me on this topic
Okay.
and said the son wanted to be an accountant and they were working on it. And after 2 terms in college, he came back and said, I think I want to be, what did he call it? An artist, people
Okay.
who paint pictures. I want to
Yes.
paint
Yeah.
pictures and do
Artist.
things
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
So she came to me and said, I don't want him to do that. That's what people on the roadsides do. How can we spend all this money in 4 years just doing painting?
No.
And I said, if that's what's going to give him joy and fulfillment, let him have at it.
Absolutely.
So I'm coming around.
Thank God. At least I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that because I know we talked about this before.
Yes, we did.
Is there, in closing, is there anything you want to add? You want to talk to people out there, anything, whether it's just general advice, which is not a professional advice. You're not acting as a provider in that capacity. They still have to consult their personal physicians, Yeah. But it would just be like a general advice you want to give out to them,
Yes,
without committing yourself.
exactly.
Unless they want to come to you through your company, go through right channels and
Well,
they didn't do the needful.
First of all, I will promote my company,
Yeah, sure.
Calvary Family and Mental Health Services. We are available virtually. You can go to our website, schedule your appointment. Then you will get to know more about us and what we do. We can do that. Now, generally, as a medical provider, this is what I will say. Doesn't have to be mental health. It can just be like general health. Health promotion is very, very important. Especially as a man, go in, check your prostate, make sure it's within normal range. It's, people say, oh, people are going to see my privacy and things like that. The doctor is not looking at your, private parts. They don't care about.
They're too busy for that.
They're too busy for that.
They see it all the time anyway.
They have 3-4 people waiting
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
They're just taking care of you as a person to make sure you are okay. Do your colonoscopy. Do all the checkup that you need to do. Visit your primary health care. When you go there, they're going to draw your blood. When they draw your blood, they're checking for your A1C. They're checking for your liver functions. They're checking for your kidney functions. They're checking for your cholesterol and thyroid. If anything is wrong, they are going to catch it on time and fix it. If you don't do that, you don't want to go in and say, oh, it's too late if you had come, a few months ago, a few years ago. Same thing to our sisters. Go for checkup. Do your, woman, wellness. You go in there, do your breast exam, do your mammogram, do your pap smear. Um, Talk to, just go there. When you go there, they'll take care of you. It is good that you go in and they say, oh, we find so and so. Oh, we have some cells that are growing. This could become cancer, but we'll take care of it now. Than for you to go in when they said it's too late. I have a sister who tells me, oh, these people, they are interested in your insurance. They're interested in your medical insurance. They're interested in your money. When you go, they will find something. There is no way you will go, they will draw that blood and will not find something. Fine, let them find something. They will find something, they will fix it. Do this for your family, do this for yourself, and do this for the society. And God help us all.
I have a friend who told me we were talking about going to do regular checks or at least once in a year. I don't know. He said, "I'm not going in there." He lives here in the US. I'm not. Okay. So you want them to find something so that they tell me not to enjoy myself again?
Okay. Again, we said causes of mental illness, right? That brings us back there. I was talking to a patient and I said this patient and I said, since you have a history of, IV drug use or things like that, I want you to get your HIV checked. Check for Hep B, Hep C, any kind of all these infectious diseases. He went and said, seriously? You want me to check for HIV? And I said, he said, what if they say it's positive? And I said, they will give you medication that you will take and be okay. And that medication will decrease the viral load. It depends on the viral load. Yeah. Some viral, the loads sometimes are so low that it might even become undetectable and you'll be able to function. He said, do you know what that would do to my head, my mental health? I said, it's better they catch it now. You take care of your mental health, take care of yourself than for it to be positive and you don't know, it becomes AIDS. And you're going to run, that would be mental health crisis.
Yes,
not just mental health.
Yeah.
And he said, I think you're making sense. I'm going to check that out.
You see?
So yeah.
At times, some of these things is just information, having the right information that would change your mindset.
Right.
We need to seek this information. We need to go out there and just explore and not be afraid to ask questions or to confront some of these things that we're already thinking in our head. Like she said earlier on, a problem shared is half solved. You got to talk. You got to have someone to confide in. Something is bothering you. When you button up a lot for too long, it starts affecting your mindset. And so you have to unbutton it and talk to someone. You have to find someone. Even if you cannot, if you don't have any friends to talk to, go and see a professional. And you can sit down and lay it all out. You don't have to, at the end of the day, you don't have to follow the advice, but just talk. Just talk, And
I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah,
I know so many of us do not have a medical insurance, and we are thinking of how to make out-of-pocket payment.
Okay.
But there are places where they work with you. If you go to Primary One Health, even if you don't have insurance, you will be seen.
Yes.
You go to a place like Lower Lights, they are all here in Columbus. And there are also places like Vineyard and some Christian-sponsored clinics. You can go there at no cost to you. They will take good care of you. And remember, when you take care of yourself, take care of your children too. Make sure they get the immunization that is age appropriate for them.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that information.
You're welcome.
It's every word that you've said here today is very, very important. We should try to go out there and explore with this word of information that she has given out. Please do that. Let's take care of our bodies. We always tell people we have vehicles. Today you're driving, you hear any little noise, take it to a mechanic to go. Some people, even when they are getting signs, their body are giving them signs. They say, oh, I don't have time. There's no time for appointment. I don't have time for that. I have to go to work. To go to work. This is the container that God has given you that is housing everything that you're doing. This is the money maker. You don't want to take care of it and you are postponing until you break down. When you break down, that job you're running after, they will hire someone else. They can only give you maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Some people don't even give you up to that. They'll hire someone else. Everybody's replaceable. So you should get into this mindset of me comes first. and health comes first. You know, you have to practice gratitude. Be grateful for what you have. Yes, everything is not 100%. Doesn't mean everything is 100%. You probably don't know when, how you're going to get your mortgage for next month, but you have today. You woke up this morning. Be grateful for that. Live, practice mindfulness. Live in the moment. People are depressed because they're living in yesterday. People are having anxiety because they're thinking of what will happen in the future. You don't even, that future is not even promised. You're not there yet, but you're thinking about 2 weeks time, in 3 weeks time. It gives you anxiety. But the only way to maintain that joy, the only way to have that inner peace, to stay positive, give yourself some positive pet talks, is to stay in the now, We all fall for this. We all fall for this, including myself. At times you're thinking about something is not going your way, or we forget everything that God has blessed us with. We're thinking about that one thing in the midst of everything that is working out for us, but we focus on that thing haven't worked out. It's always good to look back, take a moment, say, okay, at least, don't be too afraid to dance with the unknown. Don't be too afraid to take a steps and just do something different, even though you're not too sure. Or don't be thinking about what people will say. People will always have something to say, whether you on the right path, on the bad path, anyhow you want to do it. People will always have something to say, But don't let them define you. Don't let them stop you. Don't let fear stop you being yourself and living your life.
And if you don't try, you never know.
Yes.
If you don't take that step, you'll never know you can climb a mountain.
Yes.
So don't remain where you are.
Yep.
There's always the room for improvement. Yeah. Make a move. Help yourself. Be a blessing to other people. It's a small word.
It is.
It's a small word. Make yourself happy. Make yourself happy. Make people around you happy. Be a light, and the world will be a better place for everybody.
Well said. On that note, we're going to be wrapping it up. We're just, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard her, everything she said here today. She's having this, it's an online, it's virtual based. You will have the information on your screen by the time this is aired. Please, if you feel yourself, if just the consultation just to talk, ask questions, if you are feeling some things, if you're experiencing some things you're not sure of, just give her a call, book an appointment, give her a call and talk. This is one of your own. You will speak the language that you will understand. For some of us, it's those medical jargons that just they talk, they just pack papers, they give you papers, you don't understand what is there. But this one will break it down in a language form that you will understand. All right? Thank you so much. Like, share, and comment. God bless you. Once again, my doctor, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah.
Bless you.